All right, we are giving this a shot. Let's see. Are we live here now?
My
Okay.
screen
Hey,
says live.
everybody. I am, this is my first time trying to do something on multiple platforms. And so far, I think I'm managing on two, and I think the other one might be a disaster area. So that might end up getting dropped. But this is just a random Happy New Year, a little chat with my darling other half, Gerhardt Roberts. And hopefully somebody is, yep, says we're live. So that's good. So yay me. Anyway, I'm hoping everybody has had a wonderful beginning to their new year, had a lot of fun. And this is not letting me do this on that. So, goodbye to Instagram. That's the way that went. We will be having fun here on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll call it good with that rather than we have spent, you guys, oh my gosh, technology is not my gifting. I just got to say, I need an entire big old tech team. I think I need to be a billionaire and just have a live-in tech team to help me with all this stuff. Poor Gerhardt. We have spent, it's been about an hour just trying to figure out how to connect our different platforms. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is complicated, but I'm very happy we're at least being able to go live on a couple things and just talk about the new year and our goals. And I have some thoughts on that I wanted to share with you. And let's get right to it. And Gerhardt, I know, is going to have some things that he wants to talk about. And one of the things, at one point, I remember talking to him and saying, oh, there are so many things I wish I had done different with my life, and I'd like to do better, and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I get why people want to believe in reincarnation, because you like that idea of a second chance. I just want a second chance at life. And it dawned on me that, well, I am kind of having a second chance right now because I still have life left. And as long as you have life left, you have a second chance. So you can reinvent yourself. You can redo. You can do better. And I think that's a really good and important thing to keep in mind as we go into the new year, because maybe a lot of us, we've had some fails. Maybe you've had a relationship fail. Maybe you had a finance fail. Maybe, on our Facebook like page, we all talked about, we always set our diet goals and we're all gung-ho, and I was doing really good until it came time for Christmas baking, and then you're going, oh, I had a fail. But guess what? It's a new year. So you can start again. Maybe for some of you, it's this year I'm going to get organized, or I'm going to read more books this year. I'm going to write my book this year. And I will say Gerhardt is writing a book right now this year. And this is book number what for you, my dear?
4.
Number 4. How cool is that? He is just booking. What are your other books? You want to tell us? Book number 4. I thought you only had 2, and this is number 3. Have I lost something? Tell me what's going on.
I wrote one many years ago about German professions.
Oh, that's right.
In the 19th century, but so it's out there on Amazon. But I went to a novel, Safe Harbor, about World War II, and then I wrote a Cold War novel called The Wall Between Us. And and then we wrote another book together on the life of King Ludwig.
Still top secret. Hasn't been sold yet.
We don't know.
So don't say anything.
I won't say anything about that. And then I'm writing one now about a young woman during World War II who discovers her husband was involved in in basically a death camp. So anyway, got that one pretty much done. I still have to tweak it a bit. So that's where I am on all that.
And hopefully that will be available. I'm counting on it. Hopefully this year you can get those other 2 books on Amazon. And those have got really great covers. I love those, especially the cover of The Wall Between Us. Partly because some of that was my suggestion. So, of course, it's fabulous. But anyway, so yeah, if you want to check out, some of you have very kindly been supportive and gotten some of Gerhardt's books and given him very good, positive input and given him some good ratings. And And I'll just mention, as always, for writers, the big thing is reviews, 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 reviews. So that's always good to get. I see that Doris happened to be cruising around and has joined us. Hey, Doris. Hi, Happy New Year. I didn't announce we were going to do this. This is a test run because we're trying to work this out. I am going to be, hopefully, over the next 2 or 3 months, I'm going to be interviewing a lot of my fellow writers and different people in the writing business. And we're going to be having some really fun chats. And I'm trying to make sure I get this worked out so I don't screw it up. I'm still trying to figure out. I just love Instagram, and I was trying to get those all connected, and I think it was a fail. But at least we're here on 2 every year, and this is going to be recording to my YouTube channel. So it's only a semi-fail. It's more like a success. It's like an almost success. Well, that's what we're going to call it for the new year. And there's Carol Ann. Hey, Happy New Year. Fun to see some people just stumbling on us as we're having our practice run here with New Year things. And I've got some fun stuff planned for you guys in addition to the upcoming, hopefully, I've got a couple scheduled with different writers. And I'll tell you more about that as we get closer to the time. But what day is this? Who am I? Monday. It's so confusing when we throw in holidays and then I get my days of the week all mixed up. But this coming Sunday, you guys, you're going to not want to miss that. Our first fun little thing was going to be with my pal, Peggy Doviak, our finance expert. And we're going to be talking about your finances in the new year. And she said she's already got some fabulous tips lined up for that. That will be at our usual time. We always do this on a Sunday, and that'll be 5 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll have that coming up. And that's going to be a fun thing. So you might want to mark your calendars now and plan for that. So anyway, those are some of my just beginning thoughts here as we say hello, everybody, and Happy New Year to you. Talking, of course, this time of year, we always talk about our New Year's resolutions. And people say, I don't make New Year's resolutions. And I know why they say that, because half the time we don't follow up on them. And so I prefer to think of it as setting goals. What goals do we want to set for the new year? And I have some thoughts, but I think my other half has actually set some goals too here. So Gerhardt, what goals have you set for the new year besides to keep your wife stocked in chocolate?
Well, actually, I want to go back to maybe the middle of last year. We had visited our son in California on a couple of occasions, and they always have enough to eat there. And I managed over last year to put on about 17 pounds. And so that's like having a big bowling ball in your stomach.
2 bowling balls.
Yeah. So I didn't like that. And the goal I set then was, to lose weight. And so, and I managed to peel off the 17 pounds. And and I want to continue that for this coming year, because last night we went to a party and I gained another pound. And so I don't have a lot of self-control when it comes to chocolate and stuff like that. But anyway, I just want to I have a few thoughts on goals, things that I've applied where you kind of, if you want to make a New Year's resolution or just a goal, like a new beginning, so you leave the failures of last year behind and the mistakes you made, and set up a clean slate and go into the new year with a positive attitude and positive change. I read online you should set a goal that will actually challenge you, actually stretch you. You might not make the entire goal. Maybe it's losing weight, maybe it's doing whatever your goal is, getting in shape. And so you really have to kind of push yourself a little bit. Go ahead.
I just was saying, I have a shape. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so rather than stretch your body, have a goal that stretches you, which is kind of my mantra for last year. And so go beyond where you would naturally go. And so just take an example like exercise. Just say, look, I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to do it at this time, and make something that's attainable, that you want to not only get in shape but lose, like most of us need to do, some weight. Make it attainable, and then um, something you'll enjoy. Now, of course, losing weight and being on the treadmill, they call it the treadmill because it's kind of like not too much fun. But what I do is I take my my iPad with me or my iPhone, and there's a space on the treadmill up above where you can put your book, and I just read my book while I'm exercising. So that makes it kind of enjoyable, rather than just, when is this going to be over? Of course, if you're going to do it outside, bring your iPhone and your head in your little earbuds and do your exercise that way. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do as far as my goals for this year. Try to, one, keep the weight off. Two, not yield to temptation the way I do. And then three, I've got actually a couple of books I'd like to complete.
That should keep you busy. And I love the thing about the setting something specific and small steps. And I talked about that. We had done just a little Instagram reel that I'd posted earlier. Everything is baby steps. We get into trouble. It's usually one small decision at a time, and then they pile up and you go closer and closer and closer to the edge of the cliff. And then whoop, over you went. And how did I get here? Well, you didn't get there in one giant Superman leap. You got there little by little by, like Gerhardt's case, one cookie at a time. And he's always been able to eat whatever he wanted because he was nice and skinny. And it's really hard to adjust going, my metabolism is slowing down a little and I can't do that. But so one little step at a time. Okay, at the party, I'm just going to have my one plate or my whatever, and if it's, maybe some of you are going to be like starting a new book this year. You're going to write a book. I want to write a book. I've talked about this forever. Well, what you just want to do is say, here's my writing. I'm just going to set aside 2 times a week or 3 times a week or Saturday mornings, and I'm just going to work on my book or work on my whatever. Maybe you want to get back into painting or whatever it happens to be. You just set one little time and one little thing you're going to do. The old joke about well, I'm not going to tell that joke. It's very mean to elephants. If you've ever heard that saying, you know what I'm talking about. One little bit at a time is what we want to do to make our goals. And it's just important to set some. And like I said earlier, last year, whatever fails you had, that's last year. This is this year. We aren't looking back. We're looking forward to where we want to go. And hi, by the way, to all of you who have joined us as we're doing our experimental. This is Sheila training, so that when I'm talking to some of my writing friends, I can successfully do this without taking this, like this last time, an hour to figure out what we're doing and figure out how to do this on multiple platforms. We've gotten on 2, and I decided I'm going to call that a success. That's where we are. And so we're practicing, and we're talking about making it worth our while practicing and talking about maybe some things that will help you guys. Now, for me, goal-wise, one of the things I have realized is I want to invest more time in the people in our lives. We've got fabulous kids and we've got grandkids, and we just had so much fun at Christmas with everybody. And we all get so busy. It's like we just have to schedule stuff in, but I want to make sure that we schedule in more fun, be with our family, because we all do have a good time when we're together. And that's one thing, but also just keeping up with friends. I will share this with you guys. Just earlier in the week, a mutual friend contacted me and said, did you know that so-and-so died? I mean, what do you mean so-and-so died? They are younger than us. What on earth? And it turned out both the husband and wife had died this last year. This is a couple we'd been good friends when we were young. We did a lot of stuff together. We even traveled together. And along the way, we had just sort of lost touch and drifted apart. And for the last 2 years, I'd kept saying to these other mutual friends, we need to call, we need to get together, we need to do something with those guys. And of course, well, guess what? Now it's too late because they're not around to do something with. And I really feel like I missed the boat on that. And so my goal is to make sure that I don't miss the boat on time with other friends. And I have, as happens, the older we get and we move and whatever, our circle expands, and it is hard to keep up with everybody. But, most of us are here on the internet somewhere. We all have phones, and it takes just a few minutes to call somebody and say, hi, how you doing? Love you. And in fact, I've got a couple people on my list to call today to just make sure that they know that I care about them. So that's one of my biggest goals, is to make sure that I am really reaching out and staying in touch, with people I'm keeping in touch. So I don't know about the rest of you. What goals do you have this year? I want to encourage you to to set some. Don't just go, oh well. There's no point setting a goal because I won't keep it. I think you can, and I think you will. And one of the things we did last year on the Facebook page was try to encourage each other a little bit in doing that. I'm hoping we can do that again this year. Is encourage each other to just keep those goals going. And so that's one thing. And I want to share, and then we're going to, and Gerhardt, feel free to jump in anywhere because you guys can guess who the big talker in the family is. I always tell people, I actually think faster than my husband, but my husband thinks more thoroughly. So he doesn't stick his foot in his mouth half as many times as I do because he's really thinking, what am I going to say? And he just doesn't blurp out everything that comes to mind. So
Well, sometimes I do. I say what I mean, but one of my goals maybe should have been last year to take a vow of silence because, I have a lippy mouth, and so we'll see if I have that goal. I'll have to learn sign language, I guess, if I follow through on that one.
okay, guys, you heard it here. I'm going to be seeing if Gerhardt behaves himself this year. That will be interesting. Mary says her goal is to stop second guessing herself. Yeah, once I do something, don't question it. Sometimes we can do that because, and sometimes I think that comes from an inner insecurity, like, I'm going to screw up, and you just get that idea. And sometimes, and after having had cancer, I kind of have turned into a bit of a hypochondriac and always waiting for the next shoe to drop. Like, what does this mean? Oh, Gerhardt's always joking. I have this hangnail. I can go. I have this hangnail now. I have cancer of the finger. So I have to pull back on that. So that's another thing I need to be watching in the new year is just like Mary with the second guessing. Don't go down these roads that lead us into worry. Mary, when you think about it, pray about it. When you make your decision, when you do whatever you did, okay, that was a good thing to do, and I'm glad I did it. And kind of, keep that at the back of your mind. And yeah, Brenda, same with me. Keep in touch with friends and family, and the organized. Yeah, I think a lot of us want to try and get more organized in the new year. And the organizing thing, that's another thing. Again, down into small pieces. Break it into small pieces. Don't just say, I'm going to organize my whole house because that will be so overwhelming. But okay, I'm going to organize my sewing room. I mean, probably for many of us, that is going to be a week-long project. Or I'm just going
today I'm going to organize the refrigerator and the freezer.
No, you stay away from that freezer. He's always organizes that.
That's my goal for the day.
He gets frustrated because then I move things around. He can't find stuff. And so every time I turn around, he's threatening to organize the freezer. He's done that. How many times did you do that last year? 3, 4?
Yeah, I guess I'll have to check it daily to make sure it's still the way I want it.
That his wife hasn't messed it up. So, oh golly. And I need to, that's one of my other goals, you guys, for this year. I already don't want to do this, but I have told many people I'm going to, therefore I better follow through, is to get more organized on knowing what's going on with our finances. Gerhardt is just brilliant when it comes to money and really knows how to save and manage. And so he just takes care of all that. I have my household budget and my groceries, and so I manage that part, kind of like a throwback to the 50s. And he gets stuck in charge of all the other stuff. Which is very helpful because no person can do it all. But I realized I need to be more on top of things and knowing what's going on and aware of what goes where when, because my biggest fear is that, I will outlive my husband. I frankly, again, the hypochondriac in me, I don't think that's going to happen. But if I do, I have to marry an accountant. And so if anybody knows an accountant that will be looking for a wife, 20 years from now, let me know. But so seriously, I am that dependent on his knowledge. And I thought I need to really make sure I am more on top of what's going on here. And he has written everything down for me. He is organized. And we went over this one day and I was almost in tears going, get all this, but it's again, one bit at a time, and when you're trying to master something new, whether it's a language or whether it's learning how to manage your finances better, you just have to do it that one step at a time. So that's one of my big things I have to work on this year is just being more knowledgeable and not that we don't. I mean, we do everything as a team. Every big financial decision we make as a team. When we get done here, we're going to be talking about book promotion for the upcoming spring book, the Best Life Book Club, and we'll be talking about finances and what we think we can afford to do. Whatever we travel, everything is pre-planned, pre-budgeted, and both on board. So, there's no my money, his money, it's all our money, and we pull it together, right, honey?
Yeah, and I wanted to mention on another subject, as far as goals go, and as you get older, I've read it's important to get a hobby or make a resolution that challenges you, like maybe learn another language. That really helps your brain kind of keep healthy when you're challenging it. So picking up another language. Last year I picked up Taco Bell Spanish. So
Yeah, you can say ole and gracias.
they're very impressed when I come and make my order at Taco Bell. But no, I actually started myself. I started learning how to play the piano, and I could play the guitar somewhat, but the piano I found was much easier. But it challenged my brain, and I'm not Liberace at this point, but it's good to do something that maybe is complicated. At first, I only could play with one hand, but now I can play with two. And there are plenty of YouTube videos that teach you how to, for free, to play the piano. And for me, it's enjoyable, and it's challenging. So, pick something as your brain ages that will challenge your brain. Learn a language, learn an instrument, or whatever else you think might be challenging. And that kind of, I've heard, it keeps your brain healthy.
That's good. You know what else is good for your brain, dear? And I've read this many times: social interaction with other people. So we must remember that too.
Well, I've taken a vow of solitude this year too. So I'll
Good
be
luck
in
with
the
that.
dark, not speaking. And
Consider who you're married to. That's not going to happen. And you guys, of the two of us, Gerhardt, although he loves doing things like this and he loves doing things with people one-on-one, and I'm the one who wants to can we just have 50 people over and have a big party? He's like, but it is important to get out. And, this is another thing, I'll just mention this at my husband's hearing. Something that's really good for you is dancing. And that's because it has a lot of components. You have to use your brain to learn steps. You have to use your brain to remember steps. And also it's got the socializing. You're out with other people. Now, for those of us who don't happen to have a partner, you can go line dancing or do contra dancing. A lot of local park departments will offer lessons in this. There are all kinds of community clubs where you can learn to do this, private clubs, senior centers, all kinds of places where you can go and do square dancing, contra dancing, line dancing, something where you don't need a partner. And of course, you can also take dancing lessons at studios or whatever, and meet other people who want to learn to dance. So that's kind of a fun thing. And I read somewhere once, when it comes to exercise, if we're talking about doing that in the new year, different personalities are more attracted to different types of exercises. Someone who is a more solitary person is much more going to enjoy going to the gym, swimming laps. I tried that. I just get bored with my own company. So for me, because I'm just more of a people person, and I like to, I have to come to size as a game. So I want to go dancing. I play tennis. I used to play volleyball. I finally did turn in my knee pads because I thought, okay, Sheila, this is a little ridiculous. You're the oldest one here. So it's time to stop. Even though I was a spiking machine, it's like, okay, that's enough of it. But you guys get the idea. So depending on what your temperament leads toward, exercise you're going to enjoy, and it's going to make you happy. So anyway, so those are some just random, while we're testing this out, thoughts. So I guess we probably can stop testing here. I think I heard a clock going off somewhere saying it's time to go eat lunch. And Gerhardt's of course going to have salad today. So he's
chocolate. I'm on a chocolate diet this year.
He's got chocolate covered salad. Anyway, but I wanted to leave you with just some suggestions or some positive self-talk that we can do, because sometimes we tend to listen to things we've been told wrong, lies we've been told. And a lot of you, this was a few years back now when I was writing my book, What's in a Name. Many of you shared stories of how names that you've been called affected you as a person and how you saw yourself. And those, a lot of times, those were not good. They were not positive. So we want to remember that we all have value, and to not get discouraged when we fail, because we're all human and we will fail, we'll mess things up, and then it'll be time to start again. It's time to start again now. So here are some pep talk things I want you to tell yourself, that where you're telling the truth into your life, that you have value, and that you can do things this year. And I know maybe some of us, a lot of you have had health problems. I've seen a lot of posts with that, or you're just feeling like, oh, you've lost someone you loved, but you can still keep going and you need to keep going. So here are my suggestions. You can pick one, or maybe you can post something that you think is a good thing. Number one, and I want you to complete the blank. I can go into the new year grateful for. Oop, there's the clock. See, telling me it's time to eat. It's not telling me I'm cuckoo, but it's telling me it's noon and we're going to stop in just a minute. So that's number one. I want you to complete that. I can go into the new year grateful for. And I probably would complete that saying grateful for the people in my lives, and grateful that I have a roof over my head, and grateful for readers who are helping me be able to keep doing what I love. So those are three things I can go into the new year grateful for. Number two, I have a clean slate to write on. Again, past mistakes, past things. This is the time to let go of the grudges. This is time to let go of the discouragement. This is time to say, okay, moving forward, what's the new plan? So I have a clean slate to write on, and I'll be interested to see what y'all write on your clean slate. And number three, I am still here. Therefore, I have a purpose. We all have a purpose. So that is something else I want you to keep in mind. So pick one of those. Pick one of those three things, or find something else positive to tell yourself. And I hope that this is going to be a new and wonderful year for all of us. And stay tuned for more fun. Thanks for letting me test my technology on you. I'm hoping that as I go along, this is going to get smoother, but we're learning, and I want to thank my husband for helping me also with doing that. So sweet. Go Gerhardt Roberts. Be sure and check him out. His books are up there on Amazon. And that's it for now. I'm going to end this happy time together and wish you all a very happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for coming.